All right, let's do this. So how we're going to handle this is pretty simple. We have the 4th overall pick. We're going to see who's left out of those 3 and then make our decision. Detroit, number 1, takes Morgan Peters, 78 wide receiver. Morgan Peters immediately off the board. Detroit gets their number 1 wide receiver. That hurts, but we do have Terry McLaurin. Then there were 2 players on our board. It does make me nervous to think maybe I should trade up for Woodard. But this draft also looks really good for steals. I'm nervous because my tendency is to not be aggressive.
Oh, good for you!
How confident are we that Taylor Woodard's a freak of nature? Smitty, thank you for the follow, by the way. Brits, what's going on?
Oh, good for you!
The only reason why I'm afraid to trade up for him is it says mid-first round talent. IMG, thank you for the follow as well. Early first round projection, mid-first round talent. He looks like an absolute freak. Like, he reminds me... You say LeVar Arrington, like... God, who does he remind... I'm biding time while I make a decision here. Honestly... Like, he reminds me of, like, Jadeveon Clowney. Does he not? A guy that fucking big who can move like that. He reminds me of Jadeveon Clowney. Here's the problem again. We have a decision to make. We have to make a choice at quarterback. There's a chance Ciante could fall to the 13th pick. There's a chance. Do we think he's better than Colt Johnson? I don't know. Because again, Colt already is a pretty damn good player. I think Colt's our guy. I think he's got to be. I think. I mean, again, Colt right now, he's an 84 at 24 years old. 16th ranked QB in the league. He's got good speed and agility. He's getting better and better. I think we got to bank on Colt being our guy. I'm making a trade with Denver. I'm not risking it. If this guy isn't a beast, then goddamn it, we got fooled. But I'm not doing what we did last year. Again, I kind of wish I didn't remove the cap penalties because it's a fucking joke how much cap space we have now. Even though I'm not going to weaponize it like I would if we had, you know, no rule. Endo, I'm sorry, no. If I'm ruining it, then maybe we'll aim for tomorrow. I'm going to bank on him being the guy. We got to use up the 4th pick. We can't have the 2nd and the 4th pick. I mean, we could because I have the cap room now, but I'm not going to abuse the cap room that I shouldn't have. You know? So we will trade the 4th pick here to get this deal done. We have to. The Broncos also have $100 million in cap room. So I guess I'm not the only one who's abused this. In terms of what else they need, they do need depth on the O-line. Let me check in about Chris Hawley. Let me check in about Kelly Holcomb. They have slight interest in both. What about Jalen Mayfield? They have no interest in Mayfield. So what if we use Holcomb? Is Holcomb enough to get that to go through? Yes, he is. So we use Mr. Holcomb to move up from 4 to 2. I might have been able to get more back, but that's okay. We have the number 2 overall pick. We are not risking letting a game-changing player slip through our fingers. We did it last year, and I've been mad at myself for the past 2 days. If Taylor Woodard isn't the next goddamn Jadeveon Clowney, then I don't know who is. He looks like a freak. I hope to God we're not making the wrong choice. Please, God, don't let this be a bust. Fuck, I'm nervous, man. There's a decent chance he's gonna be a bit of a bust, but this is where we're at. We have to risk it with these draft picks to push this team over the edge. We have to risk it. Taylor Woodard. I'll take it. 16th in true talent. We got him at number 2. 75 overall hidden dev. I'll take it. It's not a home run, but I'll take it. 86 speed, 89 acceleration at 6'6", 260 pounds. He could be superstar dev. He could be star dev. We don't know. 85 agility as well. He could be moved to an edge rusher. It's not a complete miss. That's what's important. Washington at 3 takes Keontae Jefferson, 76 overall QB. There is a chance that Denver would have taken him, and all 3 of our top 3 targets would have been gone by the time we got to pick 4. We made the right choice. We have no way of knowing what Denver would have done, but I think we made the right choice trading up there. So Jefferson's off the board. We have to get our short list now of who we would like to get with the 13th pick. Again, there are running backs. We wouldn't take any of them 13th. We'd wait. There are some damn good wide receivers still. I think Chris Bruce is probably the best of the bunch. The problem is he's 23 years old. He's fast. He's got great agility. A really good vert jump for a shorter guy. I don't think we'd go for him. Like, he's not worth trading up for. Ellington, same thing. Not worth trading up for. There are still some really good receivers left. In terms of who else is left, there are some good O-linemen. None of them are projected to go early first round. Mark Baker, I'd like to get him later in the draft. Defensively, Gibson should be a late pick. Lowell should be a mid to late pick. The DTs we don't need, but if Chance McKenzie were to be picked, he'd be late. So then we would be looking at the secondary options, as expected. Rudy Bush, mid-rounder. Shelton McKee, potentially the early, and I'm pretty sure Mike Pollard was also the early. Which means McKee or Pollard should be available in the mid-round. Early projection, late round projection, early talent, they should meet in the middle. So as long as we get McKee or Pollard at corner, I'm happy. And again, to look at these stats in terms of the rankings, I mean, McKee, 6'1", 21, fast as hell. Pollard, 5'11". I mean, yeah, McKee is the top target at corner. And indeed, looking at the safeties, because I'm not done, Levy won't go before we have to worry about it. None of those safeties will go before 13. So we'd have to make the call of potentially trading up if there was a corner that we wanted. Aside from that, I think we can hold at pick 13. So we'll see who Denver ends up taking 4th overall after they traded down 2 spots with us. Enjoy the white screen of doom. Then the Patriots have the 5th pick. Again, we could go through this draft so much more faster. Tavares Alexander, 73 linebacker. Patriots take Andrew Nielsen, 70 tight end. Seahawks at 6, Rudy Jenkins, 73 edge. And I hit the wrong button, so that's all we'll see for the moment before we're back to the white screen. So some interesting picks there, if not potentially garbage if they don't have good devs. I think already we've hit a home run in this draft, given the circumstances. Imagine how much faster a draft would be if I didn't have to deal with this bullshit. God damn it, EA. God damn it. Broncos went linebacker, he would have been gone. Yes, he would have been. We made the right choice. Get aggressive, go for the home runs. Fuck overall talent. Texans at 7 take 70 linebacker Lance Marion. Ravens at 8 take 73 edge Tommy Hoover. Steelers at 9 took Bruce, the wide receiver. I did not see the overall, but it looked like it was in the yellow range instead of the green. I think we've hit a home run in this draft so far. I think we have. I think we made the right call. We should have been this aggressive last year. And Danger's saying it was a 71, so there you go. We moved up 2 spots. We gave up a depth O-lineman to do it. We've hit a home run so far. We'll see who the Chargers end up taking at 10. 79 receiver Bruce. Chargers at 10 take 75 receiver Ellington. Giants at 11, 72 corner Bernie. And the Cowboys at 12, we couldn't see. That was Madden 22. Wait. Wait until Black Friday, don't pay full price. Boss, you're not wrong. Joe Johnson should be good. There's a couple of safeties and secondary options we should have taken. So, again, it made sense to be a bit more passive in the first couple years, but I didn't recognize the right time to be aggressive. But hey, second best time was this year to be aggressive. I want to see. So both Pollard and McKee are available here. Palmer is gone, 74 corner. So we have our pick of who we want. Again, running backs, I'm not going to take in the first round. We don't desperately need it. Wideouts, Jose Madden. It says early first round talent. He's 21, has great speed and agility. But obviously not the biggest need. Don't worry. I'm just looking. I'm window shopping. Because Castle also looks pretty good. No doubt in my mind that Jose Madden's the best pick left in this draft. He is. Do we have an extreme need at wide receiver? No. We do have a need for wide receivers, but not an extreme need. If we were to take a wide receiver right now, it would be Jose Madden. Again, we wouldn't take a tight end. We would not take an O-lineman yet. We have pick number 26. We could get one later. There's Gibson, who we could get later. There's Derek Lowell, who we would have to consider now, but I'm worried about him because of the speed. He's got decent agility and really good strength, though. Again, the DT would go later. So again, McKee and Pollard are both still here. Shelton McKee was our first choice. I think that's who we go for. You could make the argument of trade down because we're guaranteed to get more good players. The argument is Shelton McKee a slam dunk enough of a corner to be worth making the pick, or do we look to get somebody else good later on? With that speed, he's 21 years old, he's got good size, I think he's a slam dunk. You could argue Mike Pollard because he also has first round talent, but I think he's a slam dunk here. I think he's a slam dunk. So we are going to take Shelton McKee, 13th overall. Slam dunk. 77 overall, hidden dev at 21 years old, Shelton McKee. We get what we needed in the secondary after trading Dean to try to free up cap space. 95 speed and acceleration, 77 man coverage, 86 jumping at 6'1" as a corner. 70 awareness, Jesus Christ. I think we're 2 for 2 so far in this draft, don't you? He can match up with any goddamn wide receiver in the league. Any single receiver in the league, we put him on and we're good. Our next pick is 26. I doubt we trade up. There are a lot of good players left on the board that we're interested in towards the middle to end of the first round. Jose Madden is definitely the most interesting if we wanted to get another receiver. If we don't get Madden, though, again, I don't think we have to trade up. It's tough because I do think Jose Madden could be a slam dunk. But he's 5'8" at 21. Castle, we could probably get later in the draft. He's 6'1", ran a 4.30. Good agility as well. He's 22. Late first round talent, though, according to our scout. Fitzpatrick, combine results aren't as great, but mid-first round talent. But then Mario Andrews. Mid-first round talent, projected in the 4th. He ran a 4.29. We can get him in round 2, if not round 3. I think we look for Mario Andrews later. I don't think it's worth... You could argue, is it worth trading up for Jose Madden when we can get Mario Andrews? I think we go for Andrews over Madden. I do. I don't know if it's worth giving up the assets when Andrews looks about as good as Madden. Basically, right now, we're trying to guess, is there anybody who is an absolute must trade up to get them pick? Layman might still be available at the end of the round. We're not desperate for O-linemen. But Layman, Ward, or Baker, if they were available at the end of the first round, would be pretty good. Defensive line, we know these two guys are available late. So is the DT. I think we're okay. I think we're okay to just wait this out. We're okay to wait this out and not trade up. We're guaranteed to get somebody good. It's just a matter of who. There isn't that one guy left on the board where I'm like, we absolutely have to get him. That wide receiver is interesting, but Mario Andrews makes it more interesting. So, again, enjoy the white screen of death until we can see who Green Bay takes. 77 receiver, Jose Madden. Bears at 15 takes 76 corner, Rudy Bush. Dolphins at 16, 74 edge, Gibson. And the Colts, we don't know. We would have had to trade up for back-to-back picks to get the guys we were talking about wanting. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. So, I'm also just tempted to trade up, or to just sim up to the pick. Chris, good morning, by the way. How are you? I am also very, very well tempted to just sim ahead, but I am intrigued to see these overalls. I want to see who's there. Chris, I owed you that in chat, by the way. There you go. All right, it was Mark Baker, 74 guard. Titans at 18, take 75 wide receiver Castle. Jets at 19, 74 corner Gentry. Bucks at 20, 74 quarterback Gillespie. So Gillespie is off the board. He was the other QB we were looking at. Our scout said second round talent. He still goes in the first as projected, so we will not be drafting a backup quarterback in this draft. It'll be a free agent. I don't know who. So, interesting who's going off the board. I feel like that if Gillespie has a good dev, I am going to be sincerely worried about our scouts. Yeah, our scout said he was a second-round talent, but he was a 74. So, I'm starting to have my doubts over the scouting feedback. Jags at 21, 75 corner Oliver. 49ers at 22, 77 corner Pollard. Bengals at 23, 74 DT McKenzie. And we'll find out about the Panthers. So Pollard does go. You could argue we had wiggle room to trade up and end up with McKee and Pollard at corner. Not exactly necessary, though. Like, we have good depth at corner. So I don't know if it would have been worth it. It would have led us to trading a decent corner for like a third. Because we do have Terrell and we have the other guy as well. So I think we're okay. And we'll get to our next pick here very, very soon. Darren McDonald, 72 linebacker. And the Eagles take Bill Simon, 80 running back. All right. So we have the first pick of the second round. Is there anybody that we want to draft here? That running back, I think, was the one I had the most curiosity in. There's Leonard Griffin, fast as hell. That's about it. Early first-round talent. McCall, fast as hell, good agility. Early first-round talent. And Wiggins, who has the agility, some decent speed and strength. I think Vince Johnston was the one I was most interested in. Or not. Was it Brookins? It was Brookins, because Brookins is fast and strong. I don't think we need a running back here. If we take someone... Again, Brookins has that speed. He's got that strength as a power back. He's the most interesting one to me. He's someone where I'd take the risk, and if he's good enough to work with Bev, we go and trade Edwards-Helaire, maybe. So wide receiver-wise, we're not going to look to take anybody here. Andrews will be available probably with the first pick of the second round. I can't imagine. If an AI takes him this early, then they deserve to get that level of a steal. So Layman's still available. Might be the most complete offensive lineman in this draft. I I mean, Ward's not bad either. He's 23. I wouldn't mind getting Lehman or Ward, but... I mean, we do have a need at the offensive line, but not this season. We can wait until next year to take an O-lineman. Lowell is still available. I'm a bit worried about the speed, but he has pretty good agility, good bench. Mid-first round projection. Hutton's an early second rounder. He's pretty well rounded. Then there's McKinley, who I don't trust. Mid-first round talent, allegedly. And then at safety, we have Jason Levy. Late first round talent. Pretty goddamn well rounded though. And Taj Fitzgerald, also a late first round talent. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. Let me check something really quickly. So Leonard Griffin has the speed, okay agility. He's 21, early first. He has the speed and agility. Again, running back wise, I don't think it's worth it. I think we look for Brookins. Wide receiver wise, we don't have to look there yet. Tight end wise, we don't have to look there yet either. I guess you could argue start to look for guys that might go in the second round. But also the value of trading away this pick is huge. The way I see it, we take one of these O-linemen, or we trade down. Could go for Lowell. It is true he's a big enough boy that maybe he could be a DT. We don't really need a DT, though. Again, Levy... 35-inch vert. Just the argument over whether or not like Levy or Fitz are like guaranteed slam dunk picks here. It's a tough call. I know we're gonna end up with Mario Andrews. He should still be on the board in round 2. What's available pick-wise here? First round pick next year from the Bills and a 6th. Third round pick, a 2nd and a 5th next year. The Browns offering the 29th pick this year, so trade down 3 spots, also pick up a 3rd and a 5th this year. I like that deal from Cleveland, because it's all picks this year. It's better than what Houston's offering, for sure. 1st, 3rd, and a 5th this year. I think we have to take that Cleveland deal. That is... Actually, while the Saints deal actually is even better, because we'll get a 4th instead of a 5th. So 1, 3, 4 from New Orleans to trade down just a few spots. We're going to take that Saints deal. Right? So for the Saints, it's pick number 30. But 1, 3, 4. For the Browns, it's pick number 29, 1, 3, 5. We take that deal from New Orleans every day of the week. So we'll trade down 4 spots, pick up a 3rd and 4th later on in this draft. I'll take that. Rams was better? Was it, though? Was it, though? Lower first, but wait. I'm not too worried about the 4th, though. I'm more worried about that 3rd than I am the 4th. Are you sure that Rams pick wasn't for next year? I mean, they did make the Super Bowl, so I guess it would be for this year. It's all good regardless. I'm not too worried. We got a pretty damn good deal. The Saints end up taking Lowell, 76 edge. Vikings take 78 running back Griffin. Bills take Wiggins, 77 running back. So... A lot of running backs off the board. That edge rusher also off the board. And Lowell, who we might have considered drafting. Might have. I'm not too worried. Lowell was pretty good. But you could argue, do we really need another edge rusher? I mean, we have Casey Austin. We have decent options there. Like, we would have had to make a decision to move on. He would have had to have been superstar. And the Browns end up taking Chuck Garrett, middle linebacker. So, I agree. Lowell was decent, but the extra draft picks that we picked up for later in the rounds, I feel like worked pretty well. So really quickly here, running back wise, I'm not against taking McCall once we're in the second round. I'm gonna rule out Madison. Vince Johnston. Probably gonna rule him out too. He's not bad, but McCall was better. So running backs, there's something about Martin Brookins, man. There's something about just this wrecking ball of a running back. And then Bass could be a good late round pick. Wide receiver wise, again, Andrews is the top target. Fitzpatrick has the vert and the agility, but he doesn't really have the... I mean, a 4.42 is not bad. Like, he's not bad. And then Andrews later on just could be a great kick returner. So Andrews is our top target at wide receiver. Tight end wise, we don't have to worry about that until we're in the second round, and we have a lot of second round picks. On the O-line, Vernon looks really good, except for the strength, but 33 is not bad. Lehman is still there. Ward is still there. 5.437. They even out pretty much, except Lehman's younger. Ward might have the better starting overall. And again, Corey Hutton in the second round. I mean, the only thing that's interesting about McKinley is where our scout projects him. But Hutton's interesting for a D-line option. Silver, I just think, is too weak. He's got the speed and agility, but he's not worth it. And then DTs, we aren't in desperate need of defensive tackles. Linebacker-wise, we can think about those guys in round 2. So it still comes down to whether or not we think we should take Levy here or Taj Fitzgerald. So Levy, late first round projection, is top 10 in everything but shuttle. Searcy, same thing. And then Fitzgerald, he's 21, he just doesn't have the speed. I mean, I agree, Searcy at 6'4" is nice. He also has the best speed of the draft and the best vert at 21. Levy's 22. I think we can get an O-lineman early in the second round. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about how high up someone might look to grab Mario Andrews. Part of me just wants to take him now. The O-linemen, these two for sure are interesting. But again, it's not an extreme need. And there are some other interesting offensive linemen later in the draft. This is where it gets tough. Again, Yarbrough's not bad, but not amazing. Dickerson isn't bad, but amazing. Actually, I mean, Brian Dickerson could be a steal. We don't really know. I feel like he might be a lower overall, but a good dev pattern. There are some damn good safeties in this draft. It's just whether or not we think the likes of Fitzgerald, Searcy, or others. Searcy should be available in round 2. If we like Searcy the most out of those safeties, he should be available in round 2. It's Jason Levy that we'd have to take right now. Actually, he should be available in round 2 as well. I think we can wait. Hopefully. So, then it comes down. So, Lehman, 34 reps. Yeah, it would be, if we were taking an O-lineman, it would be Raymond Lehman. Good old Raylai. Do we want to take an offensive lineman is the question. Because as I view it, there's also that guy later on. As I view it, I mean, getting a defensive lineman would be nice. Getting one of those linebackers would be nice. Getting a safety would be nice. There is something about Brookins that even though we have Edwards-Helaire, I just can't let go of this guy. And it's kind of fucking with my approach to this draft. I don't know why. We have Edwards-Helaire and Beverly. But I'm thinking Beverly and Brookins could be ridiculous. There's something about a speedy power back that is just so tantalizing. Andrews, in theory, should be available with the 13th pick of the second round. He should be. He should be. Early for projection. You could argue late first, late third, early second, mid third, late second, early third. He should be available. I think we'll play it safe. We'll take the offensive lineman unless... I mean, he is the best O-lineman in the draft. And I'm going to need a right guard at the end of this season. I am going to need a right guard at the end of the season. So I think we take Lehman. Then I think we look to take Searcy with that first pick of the second round. And then we take, with the 13th pick, Williams. Raymond Lehman. 28th in true talent. We get him at 30. 74 overall. Hidden dev at 22. So he will be ready to take over on the offensive line as soon as next season, if not immediately. Raymond Lehman. 90 strength. Pretty well-rounded. Definitely a better pass blocker than a run blocker. 86 acceleration, 69 agility. Raymond Lehman, our third hidden dev talent of round 1. Now we hold our breath for 3 picks. The Rams at 31 take McKinley, 76 edge. The Chiefs, the champs, take Dwayne Owens, 73 tight end. And the Lions take I didn't see who. So it turns out there were some good defensive linemen, but I couldn't guarantee that any of them were like slam dunks compared to who we already had. Who's here? Who's here is the question. Who did the Lions take? Please, 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 please. Come on, don't screw us here. Don't let it be Searcy. It was Hutton. So with this pick, we will take the safety. And we will see if a 6'4 safety in Telvin Searcy. I mean, late first, let's see, early third, early second. Yeah, no, now's about the time to take him. He's out of Georgia as well. So the target here is simple. We hope that Telvin Searcy is a dynamite player. It's just interesting whether or not we trust him more than Fitzgerald. We're kind of banking on the fact that he's a fucking genetic freak at 6'4". And then after that, we target Mario Andrews. If not, Martin Brookins, and then Andrews with the 20th. That's the game plan here. Telvin Searcy. Out of UGA. Normal dev. 74 overall, 24th in true talent. Unfortunately, not quite a home run. 91 speed, 88 acceleration. Unfortunately, doesn't have the dev pattern. He's not bad. He could get a breakout moment, but didn't have the dev pattern. I'm still going to take the pick slow here because there's so many players at stake that I want. So, he's not bad. Again, how I wish the white screen of doom wasn't here, but whatever. It adds to the dramatics and my annoyance if I fail on a pick. So, Washington at 3. Takes whom? Tatum, 68 tackle. Cardinals take Bullard, 77 receiver. Patriots take Springs, 75 edge. Seahawks take McCall, 77 running back. See, he was the other guy that I left on my short list there. I just don't know about that running back, because if I like trade Edwards-Helaire to move up and then that guy's not good, that is the biggest miss of all time. So we're in an interesting spot here. I just see a power back with good speed, and I can just imagine a bowling ball running down the field, you know. Texans take Shirley, 67 guard. Ravens take Lawrence, 70 receiver. Steelers take Beckham, 64 quarterback. Draft the running back and take all three. If he's there, I probably will, because our wide receiver should be available. If not, I might take the running back and then immediately trade up and get our wide receiver as well. That would be worth it. We're just a few picks away here. At least give us dark mode, right? Here we go. Chargers at 10 take Spike, 73 linebacker. Giants at 11 take Johnson, 76 running back. And the Cowboys take Brookins, 74. They saved me from myself by taking Brookins. Unless he has a good dev pattern, they saved me from myself. So, we have pick number 20 as well. Andrews is probably the pick here to make sure that we get him. From there, it's interesting because that other center, Joe Ward, is still there. And at safety, Jason Levy and Taj Fitzgerald are both there. Interesting. Could I afford to wait to take Williams until pick number 26? So let's say it averages out late third, late first. Early third, you could say mid third, but early third, early second. Mario should be available with pick 20. But I don't want to risk him. Just because he should be there doesn't mean he will be. The question right now, do we have a preference between Levy and Fitzgerald? Levy, 22 years old, ran a 4.48. Fitzgerald, 21 years old, ran a 4.62. So clearly, age, here, let's fucking do this. Let's do this, huh? So age goes to Fitz. The speed goes to Levy. Fitz is 5'11". Levy is also 5'11", so height's not a factor. Levy has a 35-inch vert. Fitzgerald has a 33-inch vert. So the jump also goes to Levy. The agility, a 7.04 and a 4.26. It about evens out. And then in terms of strength, 19 reps versus 25. It's like, it's dead even. It's dead even, basically. Like, the tiebreaker might have to be. So again, The age goes to Fitz. The speed and the jumping goes to Levy. So, okay. Age to Fitz, speed to Levy. Jumping to Levy. The agility is about even. And then there's the strength to Fitzgerald. They even out. They even out. Fuck. I think do we just leave it up to chance? I think we just leave it up to chance. Safety, you don't need closing speed as much. I mean, that's true. So, I mean, that's the thing, though. If we take speed out of the equation, then we definitely go to Fitzgerald. I think we could just wait. I think we take the wide receiver and see who's left. Exactly, boss. I think we take our wide out and then see who's left. The grades are even, too. A plus B plus B. Well, actually, I mean, the hit power goes to Levy. Fuck. So I think for safety, we wait. I think for safety, we wait it out. I want to make sure we get Mario Andrews. Hillman, we could hopefully get later. Same as Melvin White if we really wanted somebody there. The other option is that we take Ward. But I really don't need another O-line option. He's also 23. Claiborne, you don't need a DT. Linebackers. Kirkpatrick. Man, Josh Holmes looks like a beast. And then Keenan Bean. Probably a bit too slow. I had him, well, maybe. Over the guard. I mean, we're pretty well stacked on the O-line. We really only needed one guy, if that. We're going for Mario Andrews here. We're going for Mario Andrews. We're not letting this guy slip away. $11th in true value. We get him at 45. 76 hidden dev at 22. 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 88 jumping, 95 change of direction. The double flex in the past meant X Factor. We'll see if it still does. They said they changed it. What a goddamn draft. We'll follow along here to see who's left out of those safeties. We'll follow along until the risk factor of the picks drops a little bit. I'm going pick by pick, white screen of death or not. I have to. Green Bay at 14 takes Jordan, 68 safety. Bears at 15 took Fitzgerald, 74 safety. So, the Packers done fucked up. Let's take inventory. Obviously, Levy is still there. Levy is still there. Levy is still there. He is probably the pick. Levy is still there. Let's take inventory, though. Fitzpatrick is only interesting. I mean, he ran a 4.42. Has a good vert. Has decent agility. And is listed as a mid-first round pick. Just like Andrews was. So Fitzpatrick could be decent. Do we need him? No. We don't need him. We really don't. Ramon Andrews has the speed. We take Fitzpatrick over Andrews. Tight end wise, I mean, if we were to take a tight end with this pick, it would be Sean Hillman. I mean, there are two tight ends. Neither sweep me off my feet. Chris Vernon has the speed and agility. He's 21 years young. He'll probably be available later, though, than the 20th pick, because we also have the 26th. So I don't think we have to go for Chris Vernon just yet. He should still be there later on. You could argue, though, that Vernon's more valuable than Fitzpatrick, but both aren't extreme positions of need. Joe Ward is still there, though. Again, the O-line isn't an extreme position of need, but that would be nice. Marcus Clayton. We don't really need a DT. He'd likely end up as our third defensive tackle. I'd probably rather go for the center or wide receiver over Claiborne. I think I said Clayton before. There's Kirkpatrick, who's likely a late second-round pick. He's 22. Good speed, good strength, good agility. And then Josh Holmes is just a freak. He doesn't have the strength, but he has everything else. And that makes him very interesting. We have the 9th pick of the 3rd round. Holmes is really interesting at linebacker. And you could argue there's maybe a bit more of a need there, even though we did take a linebacker earlier in this draft. And then obviously Keenan Bean is still there. I was thinking of moving him over to safety. I think it has to be Jason Levy. It has to be. I mean, there's Yarbrough, but he doesn't measure up. There is Dennis Stevens, who's a combine freak. That's what I'm thinking, though. Like, there are some combine studs at safety. But Levy has that late first-round projection, where the others don't, in terms of talent level. Fitzpatrick, not as big of a need. Do we think he'd be amazing? I don't know. In terms of talent level, he's listed as a mid-first rounder. Can anybody match that? Ward's listed as a late first rounder. And Levy is also a late first rounder. So if you wanted to base it off of talent level, it should be Fitzpatrick. Take a look at this team really quickly for who we already have. Oh my god, the screen. Jesus. So if we look at our team already. Again, at wide receiver, we have Andrews. He'll probably be the number 2 or number 3 pick behind McLaurin and Hardwick. And then Holcomb's our 4th. If we were to draft Fitzpatrick, Holcomb likely gets traded. But really, Holcomb's fine. The only argument is, if we take another wide receiver who's great, Terry McLaurin, how long is he going to be there? 2 more years? 3 more years at the top level? How long will it take for him to regress? On the O-line, we have Colbert. We have Batonio and Blackburn. We have Hennessy, who's 27. And we have Lindstrom, who's 28. You could argue it's getting close. Is now the right time to take an O-lineman. Ward's still there. We obviously drafted an O-lineman. Defensive line, I still think we're good. DT, again, we have Wilcox and Kennard. We do not, and Covington. We don't need another defensive tackle. We just don't. It would mean trading Jacoby Covington, who has star depth, so probably not a good idea. Linebacker-wise, I mean, again, Ellington, McLean, Barnes, we really do need one more linebacker. One more linebacker looks like the pick. Corners, of course, we have our other pick to work with Terrell, Reddick, and Bell. And then Bernard has a decent dev pattern, and then Thomas is there. We already drafted one good safety. And we actually still have to trade Tyler Bass. I forgot about that. Let's see what we can get for him now. Tyler, you've done well for us, but Harrison Bucker was available. Anybody want Tyler Bass for pennies on the dollar? Kicker for sale. Does anybody need a kicker? Anybody need? The Bears need a kicker. Perfect. Chicago, how about a second rounder next year for Tyler Bass? Not that I want to hand Chicago a half-decent kicker. I'll probably regret it, but they do need a kicker. How about a 5th rounder next year? Tyler, have fun in Chicago, buddy. Thank you for your service. I don't know if looking at the roster helped at all. You know? I I don't know if it did. It's Miami's pick here. I don't think we have to trade up. I like the idea of Levy. Like, that's why we paused. Is it worth picking up Jason Levy? I don't know, because there's Fitzpatrick in this ward. I think we wait it out. Cal, how are you, man? So we'll wait it out. We'll see who's still on the board. We have 3 primary targets in Fitzpatrick, Ward, and Levy. That linebacker as well is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Also, them talking positively that much about Mario Andrews makes me think he might actually be an X Factor. So the Dolphins at 16 end up taking Watford, 69 tackle. The Colts at 17 take Madison, 71 running back. Titans at 18 took Beans, 72 corner. And the Jets take Ward, 74 center. So pick number 20, I think we have to do it at this point. It's got to be Levy. He's still there. You could say, why is he falling? But Levy is still there. It's Levy or Fitzpatrick. Hands down. Hands down, it's Levy or Fitzpatrick. Again, at linebacker, I really, really like Josh Holmes. But we do have pick number 26. Here's the problem. We have Fitzpatrick and Levy, both of whom should be really good, but Holmes really fills that position of need. You could argue Kirkpatrick is obviously just as good, but there's something about Holmes' ability in terms of speed and agility that's just winning me over. Again, Levy's a late first rounder, Fitz is a mid first rounder. I really like Levy and I really like Fitz. I'm going to risk it here. I'm outright going to risk it. I'm going to let the AI decide my fate between Levy and Fitzpatrick. Because Levy and Fitz are both first-round talents that have fallen. You could argue try to get all 3. Should we just get all 3? I mean, we have a lot of picks late in this draft. I mean, we'd be risking some players later on in this draft, but we've been looking at the players that we view as the best lefts. I think we have to do this. I guarantee there are going to be some great steals in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, or at the 3rd and 4th round, really. Jacksonville? Jacksonville. What do you need, Jacksonville? They need some tight end help. They interest you in an Aiden Matthews? No. Can I interest you in a Scott Boland? No. They need some O-line help. Can I interest you in a Chris Hawley? Oh, I can. Interesting. Can I interest you in a Jalen Mayfield? Oh, I can. Interesting. Interesting. Can I interest you in a Lamar Gore? Interesting. Interesting. Can I interest you in a Jalen Mayfield and a Lamar Gore? Interesting. Interesting. Anybody interesting? Late 5th. Early 5th. 4th rounder next year. Mayfield, Gore, and a 4th. I think this is worth it. Mayfield, Gore, and a late 3rd next year. Thank you very much, Jacksonville. So we move some depth. We move a third rounder next year. San Francisco, are you willing to talk? Why choose when we can just get all three? We have the assets to do it. San Francisco, can I interest you in a Jeff Merritt? Interesting. Can I interest you? Probably not in a Donovan Moore. Or a Carlos Frank. We are going to be so fucking stacked in the secondary now. Can I interest you in a Cole Dre? Because I know he doesn't have a good dev pattern. I can't. Can I interest you in Chris Hawley? Interesting, interesting. So, San Fran. How far off are we? They view him as a 4-star, but that pick is a 3-star. Weird. Let's add Merritt back to the deal. What if we're really leveraging our depth? What if we had a 5th? Boston Bruins style, 3 picks in a row for your Atlanta Falcons. With that first pick, wide receiver, he has the highest projected talent level of any player left in the draft, Nate Fitzpatrick. They were right, he's a 75, but normal dev at 22. Okay. Fast as hell, can't run routes for shit. 87 kick return. That is why you cannot always trust the scout level. Next pick. Linebacker out of UCF, Josh Holmes. I knew it. I knew it. Pick number 54, we got him at 53, so we reached by 1 spot. Hidden dev, he's only a 71, but he's a freak, man. 87 speed, 90 acceleration. Like, he is just a water bug of a linebacker. 88 agility. I like that. And the final pick of the bunch. Can you believe he's going to be drafted this late? It is the safety out of Texas, Jason Levy. 75 hidden dev, 20 in true talent. We get him at pick number 54, the safety, Jason Levy. 90 speed, 91 acceleration, 86 hit power. 3 very, very good picks. If we had to leave one, it would have been the wide receiver. And with that, we'll go ahead and start skipping ahead to our next pick, which we have another one coming right up. Flo, how are you, by the way? So Lamar Boss is off the board. Now, we'll just see who we get the rest of the way. Let's actually resort our draft board here. Again, it's a long and tedious process, but let's do it. I agree, the wide receiver was pretty good. Endo Smills! Endo, how are you? I am so sorry. We got really caught up here. You know how I am. I might be down to switch, though, after this draft, depending on if you have anybody else around. So let's see. Well, I'm doing great, man. Let's see who else is available in this very draft. But this has already been a dynamite draft for us. Better be. Well, I know we can play tomorrow, or I mean, we can play tonight. If we don't play tonight, I'll probably switch to F1. Because I really want to play F1. Try to get better at not getting murdered by the AI. You know? That's always fun to try to get better at not getting murdered. Alright, so again, I know this is incredibly tedious. Trust me, too. I wish there was a faster way to do it. But it makes sense than rather than sorting through every position for the rest of this draft. It makes sense to just get it done now. So, it'll save us time down the road when it just feels like I'm burning a shitload of time now. So, I mean, right now, if we get one more hidden dev talent, it's just, it's icing on the cake. This has already been just a ridiculous draft. It really has been. I'm very, very happy with this. Well, I figured you'd like that Luongo jersey. I ideally would be able to sell that and get a a Panthers reverse retro, because their reverse retro is incredible. Alright, so we are here. End of the second round. In terms of talent that's available, we got a lot of people that are projected to be second round talents. So we'll slightly reorder this based off of that information. Okay, so now we're good. So, Deontay Stevens. Not that we need another safety, but he's 21. Not bad. There's Ramon Andrews. We definitely don't need another wide receiver. All he's got going for him is that he's fast. But ideally, it's not about what position we need. It's about who the best player available is. There is Sean Hillman at tight end. There's Chris Vernon on the O-line, who, again, we could use a little bit of O-line depth, and he is a pure, agile O-lineman. Andrew Smith at DT. Kirkpatrick at linebackers, also an interesting one. And then we got Yarbrough. I like the lineman, to be honest. I want that lineman depth. So Chris Vernon out of Michigan State is the pick. 71 normal dev at 21 years old. That's pretty damn good. 52 in true talent. We got him at 58. So we get a fantastic depth player. Why not? We used our depth players to go out and get other people. Chris Vernon will actually be a usable O-lineman by the time he develops. Choose somebody for the first crack. Brandon Tanev. Alright, let's see who's available here. We have the 13th pick as well as this 9th. And quite a few of those guys are still on the board. The tight end I was looking at is gone. So let's see. Guys that are projected in the 3rd round. Matt Steele, not horrible for O-line depth. Dickerson, who could be a freak of a safety. Honestly, there's still a few safeties that are very interesting. There's one edge rusher in Jordan Glover. Pure speed rusher, doesn't really have the strength. Or we go for a tight end in Melvin White, who honestly I'm not really sold on, but he is 21. Ramon Andrews again is just fast as hell. There's just so many damn safeties in this draft that we could still take. It's just, how many do we want to end up with? You know? Take Andrews off the board. I mean, he would be like our 5th choice wide receiver at best. You know? I mean, he would be a pure slot option, though, because of that speed. Honestly, I mean, if Andrews does have a dev pattern, he could replace Holcomb as our top slot option. That's not terrible. Early 2nd rounder. White was a mid-2nd rounder. Andrews was a late. Yarbrough was a... I'm going to go for Andrews. Let's see if he can be a great slot option. 73 normal at 22. 41. I mean, it's a good pick. 95 speed and acceleration. 91 agility. Needs to improve his catching. He's not horrible. 92 kick return as well. Worst case, we just got a great kick and punt returner. Danger called it. So, I mean, there might have been a better player available, but that really did feel like a toss-up. So, another 3rd rounder. Tight end still on the board. Let's go for Melvin White. 72 normal dev at 21. 44th in true talent or true value. We get him at 77. So we get a decent tight end as well. 82 catching. Not bad. Not bad. And let's see who's still available. Probably should have gone for the edge. I don't even know if he was still there, but it is what it is. And then here, we only have 2 guys left that are projected. It is Andrew Smith. Colt, yes, he is. Andrew Smith on the O-line, or on the D-line, Matt Smith on the O-line. There's a chance, or Steele, excuse me. We're going to go for Andrew Smith here. There's a chance Steele will still be available. Andrew Smith, 70. Normal dev, 22 years old. Another good pick off of overall. So, hey, we'll take Smith. Just getting more good depth back into the system. It's going to be a long time before we get another pick, so we won't be getting Steele. That is okay. This has been an ungodly draft. Who's left on our board? All right, so now is where we have to start guessing a bit. We are in round 4. We have 2 picks in round 5. So Deontay Nash, very well-rounded safety. You have Jarek Leonard, another tight end, does really good jumping. And Presley, another safety. Jesus, he's 23. We'll go for Deontay Nash first. 64 normal dev. Oof. That's unfortunate. Again, these guys we only have combine to go off of, so it's all best guess. It's all best guess. We took a safety, so we might as well take another tight end. Well, I mean, all these guys we identified as half decent. Let's go for Jarek Leonard, though. 64 tight end. That's a shame. Unfortunately, we are swinging and missing here. I'm just going to go for the guys who are projected to go the highest and hope for the best. All of them we identified as having decent combine results. There's nothing that we like specifically need. And it's just safety after safety after safety. But, I mean, like, yeah, Presley, good combine results. Maybe not the most agile. Marshall, good combine results. You could argue go off of the best combine results, which would, It is true that Malcolm Shepard looks ridiculous, huh? We have the, we actually don't have another pick until round 7. So out of those top 5, I actually do agree. Let's go for Malcolm Shepard. That's 65 normal dev. Decent depth option. Decent depth option. Now we skip ahead to round number 7. We'll see if there is anybody left on our board for what has been an unbelievable draft. And indeed, we got a few guys here. And they're all safeties. So we'll take Zach Smith. He has the best combine score. 62 normal dev. Do you think this was a projected good draft for safeties, for the love of God? Jesus. How many safeties have we taken? We have taken 4 safeties already. And we're about to take a 5th. Cut the late picks. I mean, we might as well go for them. Let's go for David Allen out of Southern Miss. 56. Like, you could say, like, hey, take a quarterback, a fullback, or a kicker. Just for the hell of it. But this is our final pick of the draft. Is there anybody left on our board? Yes, it's one of the 3. Well, again, the problem is, like, none of the quarterbacks look good. Jerry Tompkins. Could just look for, like, a young quarterback, maybe. Are there any young quarterbacks? The problem is, we have seen the type of guys, undrafted quarterbacks, that end up on the free agent list. So, I'm scared. Let's go back to home base. Redmond is 22. Henley is 22, but has great speed. And Red is also 22. Let's go for DeMar Henley, New Hampshire Wildcat. He's terrible. So, as expected, rounds 5 through 7, very much a minefield because we weren't targeting or scouting anybody specifically. Am I allowed to look at the draft recap without the game crashing? Let's see what we got here. Let's recap this incredible draft for us. That's really the only way to put it. So, first round. Number 1 pick was Morgan Peters, the wide receiver, and yeah, you knew he was going to be amazing. But we also got almost just as good as a wide receiver later on. So, great player for the Lions. Maybe the new Megatron. We traded up to take Taylor Woodard, which I don't regret. He's the next Jadeveon Clowney. I love him. Deontay Jefferson. Would have been great to have the Georgia boy here, but 94 throw power. But we have Colt. Tavares Alexander was a 73. We were never looking at him. Hidden dead for the Broncos. Andrew Nelson at tight end. Patriots thought they had the new Gronk. They didn't. Holy shit. 5th overall, that guy. Rudy Jenkins. Hidden dev, at least, for the Seahawks. 73. Lance Marion at linebacker. Patriots and the Texans bombed in the first round. Absolutely bombed. Jesus. Tommy Hoover. Usable. Chris Bruce. He might have been better than the #1 overall pick. Except he's 23, but he's an overall point better. My God. Great pickup for Detroit and Pittsburgh. Ellington. That's like 3 drafts in a row the Chargers have taken a great wide receiver. Bernie. Good pick for the Giants. Palmer at corner. Good pick for the Cowboys. And then we, of course, got Shelton McKee. Like, look at those 2 corners compared to Shelton. And then Jose Madden went to Green Bay. Man, this was a great draft for receivers. Great draft for receivers. And we got here's the thing, it was a great draft for receivers. We didn't get like any of the top receivers, and we still got an incredible wide receiver. It's awesome. Rudy Bush, great pick for Chicago. Gibson. Would have been a pretty good pick, as expected. Mark Baker on the O-line would have been a good pick, as expected. Oscar Castle at wideout would have been a miss. We actually had him on our board, but I wasn't considering seriously taking him. Gentry at corner. Decent pick for the Jets. And then Dakota Gillespie. This is the guy who I was looking at quarterback to maybe get in round 2. Our scout said 2nd round talent. And our scout's an asshole. He would have been great. He wouldn't have been good enough to replace Colt, but 74 hidden dev. Man. If quarterbacks have a good combine result, but your scout's saying, no, he's not a 1st rounder, he's a 2nd rounder, still look at him. 90 speed and acceleration. Not bad. Good pick there. Oliver for the Jags. Mike Pollard. Thank God. Oh, man. Did we make the right choice taking McKee over Pollard? I mean, he's got a good overall, but he doesn't have the dev pattern. Home run. McKenzie was the top DT. Holy shit. Good thing we didn't take a defensive tackle in this draft. Darren McDonald at linebacker. Good for Carolina. And then the top running back was Bill Simon. And he's going to be really fucking good for Philly. Yeah, he's going to be really good. Derek Lowell. We were looking at him. Yeah, Derek Lowell would have been good. Could have moved him over. He's not better than who we have unless he's superstar. So, that is what it is. Leonard Griffin, the other running back. He was really good as well. Paul Wiggins, running back. He was really good as well. Chuck Garrett. Not a great pick for Cleveland, especially when we took a Raymond Lehman with the next pick. We hit a home run here. We needed it. McKinley, really good pick there. I still like who we have over McKinley and the other guy, unless they're superstar. And then Dwayne Owens, really good pick for the Chiefs, especially considering the Patriots took a worse tight end 5th overall. Hutton would have been a good pick. We were looking at him. We took Searcy. He was good. Tatum. He's a 68. Bullard at wide receiver. Oof. Chad Springs. Oof. God, the Patriots, man. In terms of getting someone with a good dev pattern. Trayvon McCall. Oof. Good overall, but no dev. Shirley. Hidden dev at least is 21. Kalen Lawrence. This draft was a minefield, and we still had an A+ draft. This draft was a minefield, and we knocked it out of the park. Absolute home run. Johnston, normal dev. How good was Brookins? Thank you, Dallas, for saving me from myself. I was seriously considering taking him. If he had a good dev pattern, he'd be really interesting as a power back, but thank God. And then we got Mario Andrews. Oh, it's incredible. Possession. Oh my God, just possession catch, fights for catch. Taj Fitzgerald. Home run of a draft. You go normal dev is okay, but it's the lowest dev pattern somebody can get. So you want star, superstar, or ideally X Factor. Who else were we considering here? Keenan Bean? So many guys that we were thinking about. Joe Ward was good, but we got the guy who was better than him. It would have been nice to have both. And then we got Nate Fitzpatrick. It would have been better to end up with Ward. That's like the one miss. Holmes, Levy. Who else were we seriously considering? Claiborne. Ugh. How good was Lamar Boss? Yeah. I had a feeling he was good. That's not surprising. And we ended up with Vernon instead. How good was Stevie Silver? We hit a home run of epic proportions. Of epic proportions. Who were the top players around 3? Ramon Andrews is one of them. How good was Hillman at tight end? See, we didn't need him, but I had a feeling Hillman was the best tight end in the draft, and I had a feeling he was going to be really good. Would have been great to end up with him as our second choice guy to train up alongside Pitts. So that sucks. He was a 76. What was it? Pete Jefferson, Deontay Jefferson. That's the one thing. I mean, we didn't get Hillman. We ended up with Melvin White instead, who just doesn't have the dev pattern. So, of course, he was taken 10 picks later was White. Bruce Yarbrough, normal dev. I mean, who else were we considering? I mean, like Singleton could have been a good pick. Yeah, Singleton was a pretty good pick there for Arizona. So my one regret is we just didn't get the tight end that we wanted, but tight end is such an unimportant position for us right now because of Kyle Pitts that we're fine. How good was Brian Dickerson? That would have sucked. Jawan Pearson we had on the board. He was hidden dev. Quite a few hidden dev linemen. So, see the highest rated guys there. Whoops. What about round number 4? Highest rated was Taylor Gonzalez at tight end. He was normal dev. If he was hidden, I would have been pretty mad. Allen McFarland, Harrison. How good was Matt Steele? Normal dev. Okay. For the most part, I feel pretty damn good about this. Lenzel Taylor, normal dev for the Steelers. Round 6, Nicholas. Wow, round 6, hidden dev wide receiver for the Cowboys. It's 23 though. Boss, take it easy, man. Appreciate you hanging out. And in round 7, 68 was the highest in line. That was an incredible draft. There were some absolute grenades of just blowing up in your goddamn face and really regretting it, and we avoided every single one of them. So, do you believe draft projection combine over scouting ability unlocked? I mean, I try to factor in everything, though. Right? Like I do. I try to factor in everything. The combine results, the age, where our scout says they're going to go, the attributes that are there. But the attributes, to me, honestly, I factor in probably the least. Just because, again, you know you can get a guy who's got a good overall but doesn't have the dev pattern. So, attributes are probably the last thing that I factor in, for being honest. So, just to look at this team, I think I might hold off on Season 5 until tomorrow. Just because that way, there's going to be a lot in terms of moving pieces around on this team, and it's easier to do it off stream. But we have Colt Johnson at quarterback, Edwards Hilaire, and Beverly at running back. We'll have to find a new third choice back, which is fine. Fullback, we still have Jerry Peters, who has star dev, 23 and a 71. And then wide receivers, McLaurin, Greg Hardwick, who still has star dev. Joe Holcomb, who's on normal dev, but then Mario Andrews, hidden dev. Nate Fitzpatrick, we knew was normal. And Ramon Andrews was also normal. So we are stacked at wide receiver, and we're going to keep all 6 of those guys. We really have no need to look anywhere else. So let me just cut these guys out of here, and we'll move over here so that nothing's cut off on the screen. So wide receiver-wise, we are golden. And basically, it'll be McLaurin, Hardwick, and Andrews as our top 3. Holcomb still probably our slot receiver, or we could say try to train Fitzpatrick to be the slot receiver, or even Andrews. I mean, goddamn. We run I formation a lot. We've been changing around playbooks. We haven't settled into anything. I mean, that receiver core is gross. We might not have the highest overalls. It might not be as visually crazy as when Ridley was still here, but this offense is gross. And we do have options as well. Some of these guys like Jarek Leonard, Aiden Matthews will probably be cut. So like Bolin will be our new 3rd choice tight end. And then on the O-line, I mean, again, Batonio will get moved over to right guard probably. This team is gross. Like, this team is so good. So last season it was disappointing if we didn't make the playoffs. This year, if we don't make the playoffs, I don't know what the hell we can do. I mean, Wilcox might go X Factor this season, for God's sakes. And who knows who else we might have waiting in the midst. Honestly, I'm almost tempted to trade Chris Barnes, depending on who we have to break out. I can't wait to see how good Taylor Woodard is, whether or not he might be worth moving to the defensive line. And then again, Shelton McKee will be our 2nd choice corner with Reddick and Bell behind him. And then safety, I don't know. I don't know if it's Bernard. I don't know if it's Levy. I don't know if it's Searcy or Moore. Franklin might get moved back to corner. I have no idea who's going to be our other safety next to Alex Thomas, who could also go up to Superstar X Factor this season. And then again, we signed Harrison Bucker, and we have J.K. Scott, and we have 2 first-round picks, and 2 seconds, and 2 thirds. This team is gross. And I am calling it now. We are making the playoffs. This could even be the season that we win the goddamn Super Bowl. I said it.